Blood on his brow, courage in his stride, Rai faced brutality so that a nation could rise. With every blow, he etched freedom's demand, turning pain into the roar of a revolution. Welcome to another episode on Lala Lajpat Rai's Thought on Education, where we dive into the inspiring legacy of Lala Lajpat Rai, one of India's foremost freedom fighters and a true beacon of patriotism. Known as the Lion of Punjab, Lala Lajpat Rai's life was a testament to the conviction that patriotism is much more than a slogan. It is a courageous sacrifice, a steadfast stand, and a love for one's nation that refuses to waver even in the face of adversity. Leaving behind a promising legal career, Rai devoted himself to the cause of India's independence, igniting the flames of resistance with his powerful words and actions. He believed deeply in nurturing patriotic values among the youth through education and example, teaching that freedom cannot be begged for. It is a right that must be claimed. In today's episode, we explore how Lala Lajpat Rai's teaching and actions continue to inspire a sense of pride, responsibility, and undying devotion to the nation, reminding us all that the spirit of true patriotism lives in every heart that loves and serves its motherland. Teaching of patriotism. Lajpat Rai believed that no school of national education in India could be complete without including the active teaching of patriotism and nationalism as a regular subject of study. In support of this view, he quoted from the book Patriots in the Making by an American professor, Jonathan French Scott. It dealt with the different schemes of education that had held the field in France within the last 200 years and were full of teaching of nationalism. Napoleonic system of education was also a clear example supportive of this viewpoint. With the growth of national consciousness, Scott noted that education was becoming a political science. This was true of almost every country in Europe and America. In other words, the systematic inculcating of a staunch and the true devotion to the fatherland sufficient to weather any crisis was becoming a vital principle of education in schools. Therefore, the direct instruction in patriotism was being given in the schools revolving chiefly around the following points. A. Love of the country. B. Military spirit and obligatory service. C. The duty of cultivating physical courage. D. That taxation was necessary to support the army. E. Some definite information in regard to the state of national defense. F. The study of certain writers was had dealt with these subjects. Emphasizing the importance of teaching of patriotism in school curriculum, Lajpat Rai stated that in his scheme for national education, there was a need to include the following: love of India as a whole, as distinguished from love of village, town, city, or province. Mazzini's famous dictum on cosmopolitanism and nationalism should not be forgotten. Intense and devoted patriotism was quite consistent with the love of humanity. Indian nationalists must not project an aggressive nationalism of kind which bred contempt or hatred of other nations. They should spare no pains to point out the cooperative nature of their patriotism, any underlying dangers of watery cosmopolitanism. The textbooks for the primary school should not be free from discussions of nationalism and internationalism. While inculcating the love of India, of Indian rivers, Indian hills, Indian landscapes, Indian scenes in choicest simple language, they should teach patriotism and the love of the nation as a whole, regardless of the various religious creeds and castes into which it was internally divided. The teaching of patriotism and nationalism as regular subjects of study was thus very important in every scheme of national education in India. Referring to the growth of national consciousness, England, United States, France, Germany, Persia, China, and Japan, He noted how these countries had made it a point of cultivating the spirit of patriotism and nationalism among their children. Taking taking cue from them, he suggested every Indian child should be taught that every human being who was born in India or of Indian parents or who had made India his or her home was a compatriot, a brother, or a sister, regardless of color, creed, caste, vocation, or any other distinction. He forcefully joined issues with those British statesmen who used the diversity of race, religion, and language as a pretext to deny them the status and the privileges of a self governing nation. He explained there was no such thing as the conflict of races in India. Hindus, Muslims, and Christians were all a racial mix with the same ancestry. They all realized that India is the country of all of them, that their future prosperity and progress depends on their unity, and that the religion is a matter of individual faith and taste. They are all Indians first, Indians last, and Indians all the time. He further added, the teaching of Hindu Muslim unity should be facilitated by writing special and carefully worded theses on lives of national heroes such as Shivaji, Maharana Pratap, Guru Gobind Singh, Akbar, Sher Shah, and Shah Jahan. They should contain no untruths but should be written from a broad, patriotic, and national point of view. If India is proud of her Nanak, she is also proud of Chishti. If she has Ashoka, Harsha, Todarmal, Valmiki, Kalidas, and others, she has also Akbar, Shershah, Shah Jahan, Abul Fazl, Khusro, Ghalib, and Iqbal. As India embraces the vision of NEP 2020, Lala Lajpat Rai's belief in education for all and pride in our heritage finds renewed purpose. The values of inclusivity, holistic growth, and love for the motherland guide us still, ensuring every student learns not just to succeed but to serve and uplift the nation as Rai dreamt. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with others who might enjoy it. Your support means the world to us. Until next time, take care of yourself, keep learning, and remember you have the power to make a difference. Thank you.